operating system. So introduction to operating system. So initial objectives. To describe the basic organization of computer systems and operating systems. Second is to give an overview to many types of computing environments. Third, to explore varied types of operating system. Fourth is to provide a grand tour of the major components of operating system. Fifth is to describe the services of an operating system provides to users, processes, and other systems. And the last is to discuss the various ways of structuring and operating systems. So what is an operating system? So operating system is a software layer that manages hardware and software resources on a computer device. So a modern computer consists of one or more processors, main memory, disk, printers, and various inputs and outputs. So managing all these varied components requires a layers of software and the operating system. So, what is the key functions for of an operating system? So first is resource management, file management, process management, and user interface, device drivers, security, and access control. So ang common example for, for operating system is desktop OS, mobile OS such as Android and iOS. So embedded OS used in appliances, cars, and IoT devices. Server OS for Windows, server Linux, and uh, Ubuntu server. So what is an operating system? An operating system is a program that acts an intermediary interface between a user of a computer and a computer hardware. So what is the goal of OS? So first goal of OS is control, execute user application programs. Second is make the computer system convenient to use. Ease the solving of user problems. Use the computer hardware in an efficient manner. So the primary goal of OS is convenience. So make sure the computer is easier to use for both user and developers, and it's provide a user-friendly interface to interact with hardware and applications. So second is efficiency. It optimizes the utilization of hardware resources like CPU, memory, storage, and input and output device. So third is real reliability. It ensures the system operates without errors, crashes of data corruption. And fourth is security. Protect the protect protect the user data and system resources from unauthorized access, breaches, and malwares. So services provided by an OS. First is facilities for program creation, such as editors, compilers, linkers, and debuggers. Second is program execution, loading in memory, input and I/O, input and output, and file initialization. Access to I/O and files deals with the specific of I/O and file formats. System access resolves conflict for resource contention and protection in access to resources and data. So if system access, it implements user authentication data, encryption, and secure file systems. So why are operating systems important? So It is important to understand and know how to correctly use when writing user applications, such as large and complex systems that have a high economic impact and result in interesting problems of management. Few actually involved in OS design and implementation, but nevertheless, many general techniques to be learned and applied. Combines concepts from many and other areas of computer science, architecture, languages, data structures, and algorithms. Um, so this is the computer hardware organization. Disk, mouse, keyboard, printer, monitor, and memory. CPU, disk controller, disk, USB controller, which is the mouse, keyboard, printer. So graphic adapter is monitor.
So, karon mag-discuss ta about the computer system components. So we have four components: hardware, operating system, system and application programs, users. So the first is hardware. So hardware is provides basic computing resources, like for example, CPU, memory, I/O devices, or input or output devices, and communication. So hardware refers to the physical component of a computer system. These are the tangible devices that allow the user to function. So the word tangible is mahawiran siya. Accidentally. For example, ang CPU, di ba? Central Processing Unit, the brain of the computer. So, ang ginabuhat niya is responsible for executing instruction and performing calculation. So, the second one is a memory or RAM, random access memory. So, a memory is a temporary storage used to hold data and instruction that are currently in use. So, tanan mga data is ma-input sa memory. So, I/O devices or input output devices, these are like keyboard, mice or mouse, monitor. So, ang example sa input is kuan, keyboard, mouse. Ang output naman is a printer, monitor, and ano siya ang input and output devices. So, communication. So, ang communication are components that allow data transfer between different devices or or systems like network cards and modems and Wi-Fi adapters. So, device communication mo siya og kumbaga Bluetooth mapasa niya sa uban devices using communication. So, operating system. Also, ang rule sa hardware kan provides the foundation that are necessary for computing sa tanang buhaton sa computer system. So the second one is operating system. Control and coordinate use of the hardware among various application programs for various users. So, operating system or the OS is a software, syempre, that manage and controls the hardware, resources, and facilities interaction between user and application. So, ang example example sa operating system, like, ito ginagamit, Android, iOS, tama ba? Oo. Then Windows, Mac OS, Linux. These are the example of operating system. Then, ang rules sa operating system is the execution of programs manages hardware resources like the CPU, memory, and I/O devices. So, ang function niya is ensure the process running program are allocated CPU time. So, third or ikatulo, system and application program, in which the system resources are used to solve computing problem of the user, word processors, compilers, web browser, database system, and video games. So, system and application program are the software na siya that uses the system resources to perform the task. So program are essential for functioning of the system itself and often interact directly with the hardware. Example include the operating system, devices, drivers, and utilities like the manager. Some rule idea is they provide essential services for an application and managing system resources. Application program. These are the program designed for end user to perform specific tasks or solve problems. Example ani is Word na, Microsoft Word. Use creating and editing document na siya ang one of example of application program. Compilers convert high-level programming code into machine code, diba? Web browser, Chrome, Firefox to allow users to access and navigate the internet. The database system, Oracle, manage and store data for application. And also the video games. Interactive entertainment programs that run off computing devices. Mga mobile, mga application na atang ginagamit. The example of application program. User. So, a user are the people, machine, and other computer that interact with the system. So, a user is kita, mga tao, tigan to mga user. Type. Type of the user is, na siya, um, people, kita, end user. The individual who use application program for perform tasks such as creating document, browsing websites, or playing games. So, user, kita ang one example of user. So, machine or other devices like printer, scanner. So, muna siya ang mga machine na user gihapon. Other computer. And the next side is, so we have layers of a computing system. So we have application programs, utilities, operating system, and computer hardware. So we have end user. So sa utilities and operating system, we have programmer. And sa computer hardware, we have operating system designer. So what operating system do? So what operating system do? Depends on the point of view. User want depends on the point of view. Then user want user want convenience, ease of use, and good performance. So don't care about resources utilization. So user typically seek systems that are easy to use, di ba? Manang mabuhat sa working system. Kanang madali niya ang trabaho sa user. Which include and also but a shared computer sa mainframe or many computer must keep all user happy. User of dedicated systems such as workstation have repeated resources but frequently use shared resources from user server. Handheld computer are optimized for usability and battery life. Some computers have little or no user interface, such as embedded computer in device and automobiles. So, um, the next slide is views of operating system. So there are three classical views in literature. So we have three, um, resource, resource manager, manages and allocate resources. So the role of the number one, a resource manager is act as a resource manager responsible for managing and allocating system resources like the CPU, memory, storage, and I/O devices to a various running program, also known as app processes. So, ang goal nila is to ensure fairness and efficiency in resource allocation so that the system runs smoothly and efficiently. Ko lang. Controls the execution of user programs and operation of I/O devices. So the OS can also view as a control program that oversees the execution of user program or application and coordinate the interaction with hardware devices. So ang function ano niya is ano, ang goal niya is to ensure the program execute in a timely and controlled and reliable manner, and that the system can handle interrupt or error effectively. So number three, we have command executor. Provide environment for running user commands. So the OS or operating system can also be seen as a command executor. This- It provides a command line or graphical user interface or GUI for user to interact with the system. So ang goal niya is to provide a user-friendly interface for interacting with the system and running commands that perform useful tasks, making the system accessible to user. But one more modern view the operating system as a virtual machine. The modern view of the US or as a visual machine or VM takes a more abstract approach, focusing on where on how the OS present and control environment application and user. goal and yes, the aim of viewing the operating system as a virtual machine is to create a layer of abstraction that allows program to run in an isolated and controlled environment. So we have resource manager. So resource manager manages and protects multiple in computer resources, CPU, processes, internal, external memory, tax application, users and communication channel, etc. Handled and allocate resources to multiple user or multiple programs running at the same time and space. Processor time, memory, and I/O devices. Besides, besides with decided between completing requests for efficient and fair resource use as maximize to improve minimize response time short of button view. So the resource manager is critical component of operating system US that manage and allocate system resources in efficient and fair manner. It acts as a mediator between various software program, application, or tasks, and the physical sources, CPU, memory, and I/O devices. So we have resource manager oriented operating system name. Sa mga name niya, kaya na siya D, so na RSF, so Resource Sharing Executive. Meet all, so siya, multiple, multi services, IBM, MFT, or MVP in multiple fixed variable tasks, IBM, VMVS, or multiple virtual storage, or DSC or VMS, virtual memory system, MVS or TSO, time sharing option, CTSS, compatible time sharing system, IBM or VM, virtual machine. So, kana lang and thank you.